Okay, so today I want to teach you guys something that's really going to hone in on a lot of key areas that beginners seem to struggle with while learning guitar. Now, don't worry, I've got tabs and the backing track that I was just using linked down below for you, so you can try these ideas out yourself. The only thing I ask in return, if you would, subscribe. I got lots of these lessons on the way. Come back, hang out with me, and let's dive into this simple idea of navigating through our scale that seems to give beginners some trouble. Hey there everyone, we're hopping here real quick because if you dig anything that you're about to learn in this lesson or you like the way that I teach, do me a huge favor, check out my Creative Pentatonic Workshop. I just launched this and this is the biggest way to support the channel if you dig what I do here. So this is what keeps the lights on, and if you guys would, check it out, and back to the lesson. Wow. Okay, so here's what we're going to be learning today, and I actually played it in that intro solo. It goes like this. So let me break down this pattern, and then we're going to focus on the concepts inside of it. Now, you're going to play 5th fret on your low E string, which is your root note. Go to 8th fret on the low E. Then 5-7 on the A. Back to 8. So... now you're going to go to 5 on the D. We're skipping a string at this point. You're probably already like, hey, that's an idea. Then back to 7 on the A, and back to that 8 on the low E string. Now, like I said, there are a lot of little things that just happened inside of this. For one, we're doing something that's called sequencing. You guys probably hear me talk about this concept a lot on here, just because it's one that was so inspiring to me as a player that I just like doing it, and I think it sounds sick. It sounds cool. But already what we did was, instead of just us-ending the whole time, what did we do? I went 5-8, 5-7. Oh, I went back to 8. These are the little things. It's not just about learning a lick. It's not just about being able to play fast or play cool stuff. What is the concept behind what you're learning? You want to get as much musical nutrient out of it as you possibly can. So for me, I'm thinking of the little things like this. I'm like, oh, snap. Yeah, I don't have to just move forward all the time. Move back for a second. Now, and if you're a beginner, I don't expect you to think of all these things. I want you to incorporate one of these ideas into your playing to start with. You don't have to have all of them. There's going to be like 5 or 6 different things that I'm going to focus on. Just take one and be like, okay, I'm going to try to not always move forward in the scale. I'm going to move forward a little bit and back a little bit, and maybe forward and back, and just stuff like that. That's all you got to do. Don't jump in too much. The same way that we limited ourselves to only the top 3 strings, limit yourself to only introducing one new idea or one new concept at a time. Get good at it before you move on. Now, the next thing that we did here was this. The 8, and what did we do? We skipped the A string and went to 5th fret on the D. Another struggle a lot of times with beginners is playing things, exactly in order the way that you learned them. So you learn the pentatonic scale like that, and what you really want to do as soon as you're comfortable with that is stop playing it in order. You want to get to where you're mixing up the order of the notes. Now, for this one, why I like stuff like this is the distance between the notes, the intervals of the notes you hear people talk about, is wider, and it gives it a bigger sound. And that's what I always like. When I play through the pentatonic scale, I'm looking, that wasn't pentatonic, there we go. I'm looking for stuff like that because it just sounds more interesting. It doesn't sound like this. I love stuff like that. So we have this idea where we're jumping to the D string and we're going to play 5th fret on the A. I'm sorry, 5th fret on the D. Then you go back to 7th fret on the A and then 8th fret on the low E string. Now, 2 important things just happened here with that simple move that we did. The first thing is we played a diagonal line. The pentatonic is prone to vertical and horizontal playing. Diagonal playing, like this, really lends itself to arpeggiating ideas, or, again, getting those wider intervals between your notes. So now we've introduced this new idea of like, oh yeah, I didn't think about traveling diagonally through the scale. I was always going like this. I was always going like this. All of a sudden, boom, new concept unlocked, you know, something like that. But the other thing here is we're actually outlining a chord. This is a C major chord. Okay, root, third, fifth. So we're perfectly outlining a C major. Inside of your minor pentatonic, there are chords in here. You could have an A minor, you can have a C major. Okay, so we're outlining all of these while we're playing a lick like this. Okay, there's A minor, there's C major. Now that might be too much for you right now if you're watching this as a beginner. Don't worry about it. That's stuff a little bit more down the road. But I'm just letting you know, these are possibilities when you hear people talk about this stuff. You can do all of this with the pentatonic scale. Now I don't want to just stop there because that is one position. Let's just try to move everything down a string, which is going to introduce a new concept, which is rolling our fingers. Okay, now same pattern or sequence, we just have to adapt it to the scale. So you're going to go 5-7 on the A string, 5-7 on the D. Now this is where you have to start visualizing what we just did. So when we did the other pattern, we went back. So let's do that. 5-7, 5-7, back to 7 on the A string. Now I'm doing that by rolling my ring finger. And what this requires is some preparation for us while we're playing it, because I know I'm going to do this. So instead of playing with the tip of my finger like maybe I normally would, I play with the flat because I know I want to roll my finger up to get to that next note. So, okay, right there. Now the next thing was that string skip, so let's skip the D and go to the G. So now we're on 5th fret of the G, and we're going to go 7 on the D, because now we're going to that diagonal look. Now we have to keep it, for now, in the context of the scale. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll your ring finger again, because we don't have a note here this time. Okay, that's not part of the pentatonic scale. Now we have that one. So we've got... Now we have 2 different loops through that sequence. You know, you can keep going with it. You can move it up horizontally. And I mean, there's lots of cool stuff that you can do with this idea. Now, the final thing I will show you is that we stuck very specifically to the pentatonic scale in this one. But the best thing you'll ever do as a player is learn how to use your ear. Use, you know, the pentatonic scale or whatever scale you're working on as the building block. But don't be afraid to just use your ear and find cool notes. Now, like I said, I mentioned this one. Right there. That note is in your A minor scale. It's not in the pentatonic scale. So you could use it, technically, but we're sticking pentatonic. But I'm saying just use your ear. Like, I mean, oh, that's a cool, like, I'm just using my ear at this point. I'm not even thinking about anything. You know, just stuff like that. Always trust your ear. It will not let you down. And the more you trust it, the better it gets. Alright gang, I think that will be it for us here today. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Like I said before, if you dug it, just do me a huge favor and subscribe. I'd love to have you come back and hang out some more. I'm really digging doing these lessons again. I was so burnt out there for a while. And it just feels good to be back to teaching. So I hope that you're liking all the lessons. And of course, the normal nerdy guitar content. But hey, I'm looking forward to the next one. Thank you all so much. Get the tabs, the backing track, and if you guys play this stuff, dude, tag me on Instagram, do whatever. Like I share all that stuff. So anyways, y'all have a good rest. Yo, did I just say y'all? I have been in Nashville too long, guys. You all, good God, you all. Rush Hour quote there. All right, I'm out of here. I'm losing it. Bye, guys.